My guest at this time will be competing in a triple threat match for the Divas Championship against Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. She is a former NXT champion and the reigning and defending Divas champion, the one and only Charlotte. How you doing today, champ?
Thanks, Alfred. I actually just stepped off the plane and just going to pack my bags and head off to the last loop before Mania. Pretty exciting.
That sounds very exciting, and I've got to tell you a true story. Last week I was on a podcast with my friend Nick Hausman, and I was telling him that Charlotte might be my favorite wrestler on the entire roster right now, and that day WWE offered me you. So I feel like the universe is bringing us together, so it's great to have you here.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm honored that you said that.
And I'll tell you why I said it. It's because you have been placed in this duo with Ric Flair, which when I first heard about this, I didn't know about it because Ric Flair casts such a great shadow, and any wrestler would be in a tough spot being managed by Ric Flair, especially you because he's your father and it's so easy to compare you to. But I feel like you've risen as the shining star of this duo, and with all due respect to Naitch, he's been more of a supporting character and played his part great. So what do you think the secret is in your guys' success as an on-screen duo?
Actually, I just talked about this on the Jericho podcast, which will air before Mania, but no, for one, he's my parent in crime. That's what I've labeled him as. But no, when I heard that they were going to pair him with me, I really kind of got nervous because, you know, I look at my dad as one of the greatest talkers of all time, and I was like, oh no, they're putting me with him. You know, I need a mouthpiece, and then obviously I have to share the stage every week with in my eyes, the greatest of all time, and you know, people probably like, oh, you know, she's just thinking, hey, I'm walking out there with my dad. But at work, I don't see dad. I see him as, you know, like he is. He's my manager, and he's my coworker, and I don't want him to steal my spotlight. So it really, I think, forced me to dig deep and own this, you know, heel turn that has really just given me life on the main roster and separated me from, you know, the Divas Revolution when I first started as just kind of the, you know, babyface Ric's daughter. So I really took it as a challenge and wanted to get better in all aspects. And I've always felt more comfortable being a heel to begin with, so.
Absolutely, and you know, you've got the genetics to be a heel, that's for sure. And let's talk about life outside of the main roster. I always wonder, when it comes to going out and hanging out, you seem very close with your father, but do you guys, go out together? Do you ever want your time alone to be with your peers or whatnot, or do you take Ric everywhere?
Well, obviously I'm on the road, you know, 5 days a week. My dad doesn't really travel on live events unless we're overseas. So I'm by myself, you know, Friday, Saturday, and then I meet up with him Sunday night, and then TV's Monday, Tuesday. But, no, my dad was gone most of my life as a kid. So getting to spend this time with him, it's not, you know, I think it'll be harder when he's not there because I've always had, you know, he's been on the roster with me this whole time. So it'll be more like, oh, I'm sad my dad's not here just because he's like really close to me. For instance, like behind the scenes, you know, Becky Lynch is, you know, my best friend, and you know, the three of us travel together a lot. And he's just like one of the boys. I mean, sometimes, you know, I'm like, Dad, I need you to give me feedback, and he's so positive, and I think it's because he's so biased. I'm like, Dad, I need you to tell me that today sucked or something. That's the only time I get really annoyed because he's so positive.
Well, some of his criticism of you, would one of them be that you're too great, or like you did too good of a job with that figure four?
He'll just say things like, you're just way too far along than you should be.
Right.
With how many years I've had in the business. That's what he'll say.
Well, that's incredible. Let's talk about the three of you, Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. This is going to be your guys' first WrestleMania. Unlike your father, who has had plenty of WrestleMania moments. So does this make you feel more comfortable being in the same boat for your first WrestleMania, or are you a little more nervous knowing that you're not going to be in there with somebody who's been there before?
No, I don't worry about that. The three of us obviously do well under pressure. The only difference is there's more people, but what me, Becky, and Sasha do the best is steal the show, and that's what the three of us plan on doing this WrestleMania. and I'm saying that as divas.
Now, the final question I have for you, in terms of the Divas Championship, the butterfly title, that's been a point of debate among a lot of wrestling fans, and real heated debate. So I want to get the champ's perspective. Do you like the Divas Butterfly title? Would you like it changed?
The Divas Championship does mean a great deal to me, especially since I'm holding it right now. But I always think change is good, improving things, changing with the time. So I would be all about, the company debuting a new title.
The new title, so would you still like it to be called the Divas title, or would you like it completely revamped as maybe the women's title?
I think changing it to Women's Championship would be great. I mean, it's just, it's 2016 now. We've had the Divas Championship for how long now? And I just think with, NXT is the Women's Championship, I find no reason why the main roster couldn't change it. Obviously, there's, it's just, you can't, there's a lot of branding that goes with it. We've had the butterfly belt. We've had the Divas logo. The term Divas is special to WWE. And the fact that, for instance, myself, I wouldn't look at myself, as your typical diva, strong, athletic, strong as the new skinny. I don't know however you want to look at it, but being able to have all the attributes as an athlete and be called a diva, I think it's great. But I would like, the name Women's Championship.
She is the reigning and defending Divas champion, always speaking her mind like a true champ does. Good luck to you in your first WrestleMania. I know you don't need it. Charlotte, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Alfred. Are you going to be out there?
I will be out there.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoy the show.